business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show.
Mm,
What it do,
absolutely.
what the business is.
Hey man, it's your man Animal Brown tapping in, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. We out here in these metaverse streets to be soon.
Absolutely, man. That metaverse shit wild, man. I'm gonna cop me a little whip. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying?
They got the metaverse polo ready for you.
That's what
I
I'm
seen
saying.
that the other day. See the nigga online selling a metaverse plot of land.
I
The
need it.
metaverse yacht went up the other day. It's going up.
Let me get that. I need all of that. And I need the real
Hey,
life and I need the metaverse versions of it. Okay.
absolutely. People just gonna bail out on the real life. People just gonna go
Yeah,
all in on the metaverse. It's just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna need enough money to get everything I get in the metaverse. That's how it's gonna be.
I could not agree more, and this shit is going to be insane.
Thanks.
Hey guys, sorry for the wait. We appreciate your patience, man. But listen, it's the episode of the year. Well, kind
Absolutely.
of, sort of.
Of the 2021 year, though we
Hey,
are in the 2022 calendar year now. We want to give it to you. We're supposed to be in the studio, but we still under COVID protocol.
facts.
We're gonna go on and do this remotely and then hop back down next year with some dope episodes from the spaceship. But for now, top 10 albums of 2021
Yeah,
from the On
man.
Deck TV show.
Highly anticipated episode, man. Top 10 albums of the year. We got a couple of quick hits to go over. You know how we get down, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and just kick things off. First and foremost, rest in peace though to Draco the Ruler. Man, the California artist passed away late 2021. Man, he was stabbed at a show that had big A-listers there, like Snoop Dogg. I believe 50 Cent was also present. A fight allegedly broke out backstage between two groups of people. He ended up getting stabbed, didn't make it. I was not too familiar with Draco the Ruler. I had just heard of him because he had a song with Drake earlier in the year, and that's how he kind of popped up on my radar. But outside of that, I wasn't super familiar. But he seemed to have a really big fan base and was bubbling up something serious on the West Coast. So it's unfortunate about that situation.
Absolutely. The word on the out was he was next up. So it's
Yeah.
definitely an unfortunate event. Condolences to him and his family, all his friends. Very unfortunate event. A couple other updates before we hop into the quick hits as well. Last week we did our quick hits of the year. We mentioned Pooh Shiesty. His
Yeah.
sentence has been reduced officially to 8 years. So
Yeah, I saw that, but I haven't seen that he accepted it. I don't know. We'll see.
he's definitely going to accept. He ain't going to trial. If they offer him 8 years, he gonna take those 8 years.
Because he was facing life, right?
Facts.
Yeah. Clearly
And
taking him 8.
yeah. Also, another update: Dolph murder suspect was named. He's not been apprehended as of yet. 23-year-old from Memphis. I don't have his name right here off the top of my head, but they have named him and they are looking for him right now.
I think there's a reward too.
Yeah, like what? Couple racks, 10 by 10,000.
15,000. Oh, that's more than enough. Don't you worry about a thing, dude. That hotline going to be blinking.
15 racks. Christmas just passed. It's all the way over for bro.
You ain't got to worry about it. That could have been one rack, nigga. That phone would have been ticking.
Cooler 2,000 to get him in there every time.
A little stimulus package.
Yeah, they ain't even got to go over 2,500 to be honest. That's gonna get you like that 25. Man, I just seen that nigga at the store.
Man, yeah.
I wouldn't do that, but that's how it happens.
We'll have an update on that probably in about a week. Don't even worry about
Absolutely.
it. Man, we had a couple of topics that we wanted to get to, man, to kind of close out 2021 that we didn't want to leave hanging, had to tie a couple of loose ends. So that's what we're going to do before we get to these top albums of 2021. I'll kick things off. First things first. Drink Champs. They promised that they were going to get Big Sean on their show after the Big Boy explosive 8-hour-long Kanye West interview. Sean pulled up as promised. Said a couple of very interesting things. I know we touched on a little bit about his contract the other day, but just looking a little bit more deep into it, after seeing what you saw, hearing what you heard, do you look at Kanye differently now after that Drink Champs interview with Big Sean?
No, I don't look at Kanye West differently. Where I held Kanye West is still in the same place. Big Sean could have got on there and said damn near anything. It wasn't going to affect how I felt about Kanye West. and that's just because the music business is the music business for me. If you've listened to this show for a while, then you see that I normally side with the people that wrote the contracts and not the contract signee that claiming they got gypped. Because the business is the business. It comes with experience in you avoiding those situations. Like you don't just hop in the music business and be like, man, I ain't never signed a bad deal. That usually doesn't happen. So when Big Sean go in there and be like, oh, after I found this out and now that I know the business all of these years later, I realize that Kanye West owes me $6 million. So what? Same thing probably going to happen when you sign artists and you're an executive, because niggas ain't in there writing original contracts. Like Kanye West probably used a template, or he used someone, well, that's being facetious, but he used someone in the business that gained the structure of music contracts and how this is supposed to go from someone else previously in the music business. Like there's a precedent for these things and how they happen. That's why we continuously see them happening. There are 1, 2, 3 offs as far as people having good deals, people taking care of their artists. But as far as the standard contract, taking care of an artist and them claiming that they got what they were supposed to get, that never surprises me. So the stuff that he was saying about Kanye West there and what Kanye West has displayed publicly already has my perspective pretty much solidified for him.
Yeah, it didn't change mine. There was a couple things in there I didn't like. He mentioned that Kanye reached out to him after the clips came out of him saying that him signing him was the worst decision he made. He did not accept that phone call because he felt the type of way. He felt like really rapping with him right then. I would have been interested to hear what he had to say though. That's so I'm kind of wish he would have took the phone call, honestly. But there was another thing that kind of got pulled where he talked about how Kanye told him to fire his homeboy that had took a photo in one of the sessions, one of the Dark Twisted Fantasy sessions. His homeboy had took a picture and it was Beyonce, Jay, and Kanye in the studio, and then he posted it. And like, of course, you know, these sessions are notoriously like, nigga, no, nothing allowed. And people thought it was Sean that had took the photo. It was really his homeboy. And Ye told him he needed to fire his man. And he basically made him fire his homeboy. And a lot of people were kind of like, felt the type of way about that. But I really didn't. I think he just slick did him a favor. If I'm in the studio with somebody, bro, act like you've been around motherfuckers that act like you've been around in this type of situation. Do you know damn well not to be in your groupie bag, pulling your phone out and then posting a private session that you slick shouldn't have been in anyway. You only in there off the strength of your man. So like, I feel like he did him a favor. So that was one of the headlines that I saw got pulled. The people were trying to go in on Kanye. And I actually like, nah, he did him a favor. He need to get away from dude.
That's nasty from you. That's probably one of your nastiest takes you've ever had.
You gotta get away from him. He did him.
That's nasty.
Kanye.
That's nasty from you, and that's nasty from Big Sean, and that's nasty from Kanye West. And here's the thing, like that ain't your man's, bro. Because if you did fire him because Kanye West told you to, that ain't your man's. Like if that's my man's and he in there, yeah, you fucked up. But if he gotta go, I gotta go with him. Like, my nigga, I'm in here doing you a solid, writing you verses and shit. You ain't finna tell me I gotta fire my mans because he fucked up. He might have to lead a session. Yeah. He might have to go outside. He might have to come back tomorrow because he made a mistake. But you ain't telling me to fire my mans, and I'm not holding no grudge for that shit for 6 years. Nigga, that album came out, 10 years? They did that album recording 10 years ago, and you here talking to Nori about it. I think all of that is bullshit, to be quite honest. Him and Kanye West should sit down and talk like men, because it seems as if he listened to what he said on Nori's platform, and then Big Sean I'm talking about, he goes and says, oh, well, I want to one-up Kanye West. When, bro, that's not going to happen. You're misplaying your hand. You like, no one's ever going to take what Big Sean says, comparing it to Kanye West, and side with Big Sean, I don't think. Not in my opinion, because Kanye West is he's an icon, global. Like, he got more fans than you. So you can go up there and try to get off what you want to get off, but to our original point, it's not going to sway a lot of people. To that last point that you said, if that's your man's and you really were that butthurt about it, then you leaving with your man's. And you going to let him have it like Franklin let Leon have it in the car. Like, my nigga, what is you on, my nigga? We in here with J, B, nigga, you're in here snapping pictures. My nigga, I'm building some shit brick by brick, nigga, in here paying me for these verses, my nigga. And you in here taking pictures? A picture, my nigga? What you want to do with the picture, my nigga? Like, you got to go on and go in on him, but there's no way on the earth that I'm firing my mans for that. And I don't give a fuck what Kanye West has said, nor am I holding a grudge about it 10 years later and telling Nori that I was upset. Like, nah, I don't feel you on that. And or Kanye West or Big Sean. Like, everybody was wrong there with me.
The quote was, I explained to him who it was, and he was like, you gotta fucking fire him. We all done this. We've hired people that we love, but people was mad at you. That's what he was telling him, thinking that you were being thirsty. Mm-hmm. And he said, it was my man. So I told him in a position where it's like, shit, Ye and Hov say you gotta go. I'm sorry, bro. We gotta figure something out. And
that's what. That's lame as fuck. Like, I get it on one end, but that's lame, though.
He's answering to it. The nigga that's the nigga that signed his check, bro. He wasn't the boss yet, bro.
That wasn't the nigga that signed his check at that point. Like, he wasn't signed to good music at that point. He was still like trying to get like. I'm thinking like, first of all, you're not even gonna come to me with that. Like, you're gonna come to me and say, hey, your man made a mistake, you need to fix it. You're not telling me I need to fire him, telling me acting like it's in my best interest to get this nigga from around me because he took a picture. I've been knowing this nigga this long. It's not like, hopefully that's one of the few mistakes he made. It's a big one, but you're not gonna come to me like what that quote that you just read and act like it was the worst thing in the world. So what if I was in there being thirsty? My nigga, Big Sean wasn't famous yet. Like, the expectation can't be like Kanye West has been around Jay-Z and Beyonce. And of course, like you said, it's thirsty, it's disgusting, it's nasty. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to know how to handle yourself. But that shit come with time, and niggas make mistakes. You're not finna fire me and have me send my nigga back to Detroit from Hawaii, bro. I'm going with him. Like, that's definitely not. That's the last thing that's gonna happen. Like, if somebody getting on the plane, I'm going with him. If it got to do with my people, that's just how I was saying. But like, that's nasty.
You gotta thank Kanye, man.
No,
gave him a lot of trouble.
That is nuts. I hope dude still. I hope that was one of his real friends, and he forgave Big Sean for that.
He said he's doing well though.
He need to forgive Big Sean for that.
He said, "Do the teacher now."
Damn. Ruined that man's life, man. He could have been taking one picture, ruined his life. Now he teaching kids in Detroit. Good God. A studio session. Man, a studio session with Beyonce, Kanye, Sean.
Hey, he teaching 42 Doug and shit.
Keep your phones in your pocket, people. Stop them sneak pictures, man. Quit that shit, man. What are you trying to get followers? It's nuts, bro. Yeah, that was a nasty situation there. Moving on to that nasty situation to a nastier situation. Your man's Freddie Gibbs. We late talking about this, but yes, we're going to talk about it. A couple weeks ago, Freddie Gibbs was in New York at a popular steakhouse. I think it was 113 Prime.
Miami. He was in Miami.
I was in Miami. Okay, even better. They were in Miami. Ran into Jim Jones. Freddie Gibbs and Jim Jones do not get along, and there was a kerfuffle.
Allegedly.
An alleged kerfuffle. There is no tape, but word on the streets, and the nigga that's tweeting about it is Freddie Gibbs, and Freddie Gibbs took the short end of the stick there. My question to you, Animal Brown, is this a big deal, little deal, or no deal at all, the kerfuffle between Jim Jones and your mans?
It's a little deal because it has the potential to go either way. They have a history. Freddie Gibbs dissed Jim Jones because Jim Jones was using the VL, the Vampire Life. Freddie Gibbs, his VL that he reps is a little different from Vampire Life. It's a different VL. So he sent a couple of shots at him. I'm not sure if he knew Jim Jones' pedigree like that, but
clearly not.
He might have should have done his Carfax on Jim Jones before he jumped off the ledge and did that, because this is the second time that they have ran into each other and the L was handed to Freddie Gibbs, allegedly. First time was in New York. And he told that story on Combat Jack about goons shooting at him when he was in New York that allegedly came from Jim Jones affiliates. And he was scared to death telling the story. And anybody would be, nigga, if you almost just got murked. You running and nigga running through bodegas and shit, dude. So you would think that would be the time to go ahead and cut the Gangster Gibbs act when it comes to talking to Jimmy Jones. But apparently not. You run into him in Miami where Jim lives. So you're on Jim's home court 2 times, dude. You know, took 2 L's on a nigga home court. Stop talking to Jim Jones, bro. Like, I don't know what you're trying to prove. I don't know. I don't get it. Just leave it alone. Nobody cares. Niggas is rappers. Y'all 40. Y'all look insane to begin with. Physically fighting at 45, dude. So you already look wild. So just stop talking about this shit. So I say it can be a big deal if he keeps talking and trolling. If he shuts up and takes the Jim Jones route, then it would be no deal.
This is no deal regardless. And here's the reason why. For some, Freddie Gibbs is an amazing rapper. Freddie Gibbs is not a gangster. Like, he gets classified as a gangster rap for some reason. I've never understood it, but I've never seen Freddie Gibbs and thought, man, dude, he might be about that life. Raps well, might rap good about it, but there's no mistake when you run into a nigga like Jim Jones. Like, I done heard the stories. Cam done told the stories. And he has the persona. Like, Jim Jones give that image out. So when a nigga tell me, and I see him working out on the Instagram videos, so if you tell me Jim Jones worked Freddie Gibbs in Miami, I'm believing it. That's 100% believing it. And the reason is no deal because the person that's responding, Freddie Gibbs, he's turning this, as he should, to album promo. Basically. I'll be in New York back-to-back days sold out, whoop-de-whoop. It ain't that bad of a deal to lose a fight, especially when you're not about that life. Freddie Gibbs is clearly not about that life. Not that, and that ain't a knock either, though. I don't want people to think that I'm dissing him or saying that he's something different. Like, he's a good rapper.
Wait a minute. That's a knock if you say you're about that life and then you come on here and say that person is not about that life.
Who said he was about that life?
Is not about that life is one thing, but Freddie Gibbs calls himself Gangsta Gibbs, though.
That's rap shit, man. He know damn well he shouldn't have been playing with Jim Jones, and we heard it on the Combat Jack interview. Like, Jim Jones is for real deal about that life, though. And I ain't talking about calling yourself Gangsta Gibbs on a rap and rapping about selling drugs. I'm talking about nigga putting in work without going too far. Like, Jim Jones' name is in cases. Like, it's documented, dude. And the same thing when I've heard Freddie Gibbs take shots at niggas like Jeezy. Like, now I'm starting to get an understanding. Like, he's doing this from a rapper's perspective or point of view. I wouldn't say it's harmful as 6ix9ine is and as trolling as 6ix9ine, but Freddie Gibbs, like, he knows if he's trying to be in that gangster persona. If I talk about these gangster niggas, then of course motherfuckers are gonna assume that I'm gangster, but he's not. He's a good rapper. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to make himself, he knows how to market this stuff well. But I've never assumed that Freddie Gibbs was a gangster. And again, I'm not knocking him for saying that, but I agree with you in the sense he better stop playing with niggas that is gangsters, though. before all of this little rap shit in for you. And what I'm referencing in that, I ain't even saying like being killed or nothing. You said what niggas look like 45 and fighting. If I picture a nigga that's 45 and fighting, guess who it is? Jim Jones. In the dictionary. The nigga that's doing pull-ups every morning on Instagram, the nigga that's in the gym every day, the nigga that's walking in the snow still to the bodega at 45, dude, doing weather reports. That's the nigga that's gonna spring on you when he see you for talking crazy on the record because you thought this was rap shit. Like, Jeezy ain't that nigga. Jeezy living his life. He gonna let you get that off. Like, I'm real deal. Like, if my niggas, you see what happened with Gucci Mane, and my niggas come out looking for you, that's how it's gonna be. That's probably how Jeezy looking at it. So I'm gonna let you get all of that off. Jim Jones, nah. I want to tussle, my nigga. What you think I work out for? Why you think I'm doing these pull-ups for? Boy, you finna feel this work. All of it. And Freddie Gibbs laying in the bed, getting fed by models, grapes and shit, thinking that shit funny till you walk in the steakhouse and you getting worked by them BL niggas that you was dissing. Stop it, Freddie Gibbs. Stop it, bro.
Nigga, Jim Jones a nigga in the gym working out in Tim's and shit. Like, just leave that nigga alone.
Nigga. Just date night. He left date night with Chris. Y'all, let me get a couple sets in. Bro, hell yeah, I expect that nigga to use that shit. What do you think he working out for?
Shit.
Come on, bro.
I don't like the whole, like, he's embracing this villain persona because now even Gunna has thrown a shot at him on the new album and he's big up in that and blah 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 blah. I don't think taking on the whole state is a good idea though, in my opinion.
You mean Gibbs?
Yeah.
He's embracing that's what I'm saying. This is rap shit to him.
Right.
Like, this is rap. Like, he's still in rap mode. Oh, I'll be up there. I got 2 sold out. Man, niggas is gonna beat you up for playing with them every time, dude. Stop playing with
the amount of police that are gonna be at his shows in New York is ridiculous.
But that's how he know that though. He's a rapper. Like I'm here with security, my nigga. Like New York, not finna let y'all niggas roll up on me and beat me up in New York. I'm here back-to-back nights. I know that I'm a rapper. I do this. This is my business. But in Miami, them niggas, it wasn't the same. You thought having that one security guard was gonna help you. You ain't expect to run into Jim Jones them die.
Yeah, that's ugly. That's ugly, man. Leave the trolling alone. Right. Just give me the Triple S project, man, that you gassing up to be fired like these last couple ones.
He better go back out to California. He better lay in the bed with them models and shit that's feeding him grapes and just keep recording that gangster shit from the studio. That's cool. It ain't nothing wrong with that, my nigga. You gonna live a long, luxurious life doing it. But you out here in these streets playing with niggas like Jim Jones and Jeezy and like Ross and him. Well, not Ross, but just all the niggas you playing with, like, it's what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get beat up at the steakhouse.
He just lucky there ain't no video, honestly.
Man, video would have ended. That would have ended his career.
Nah, that's not true.
That
because I guarantee you, the stories coming from it aren't going to match what you saw on the video. The stories are always exaggerated.
They probably worse. Stop. I heard he got Ray Rice out there.
Man,
like I heard it was serious.
Fuck out of here.
Career over with, nigga.
Let's take it to the West Coast. Speaking of, man, Compton, your man Roddy Ricch dropped his long-awaited follow-up. His 2019 album, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, was highly critically acclaimed, produced several hits. So when he dropped his new Live Life Fast project late last year, he talked big boy shit before it dropped, saying it ain't no skips on this. This is a straight-through project. My question, did Roddy Ricch deliver on his No Skips album promise?
No, absolutely not. Niggas that ain't got bars got to stop throwing that classic no skip shit out there. Like Roddy Ricch can make good music, and this album is okay. His last album, like you said, was critically acclaimed. It was bang. Yeah. Put that in and you can let it ride. But I ain't got a Roddy Ricch quotable for you, bro. And if I'm putting this in and I'm expecting to let it ride, like he got to be ripping something, and he not. I get some good songs on here, but he ain't ripping nothing in 2 albums. Like, he ain't got off, and I was like, damn, that nigga was rapping. So that being said, I think he need to realize the type of music that he makes. Like, his vibe music is the kids, they get off to this, but people of our age expecting to go in and hear a classic 5 mic album where you're gonna get some bars from it. Nah, I didn't hear any of that. It was a normal, like new age album, cool little bops, nice little melodies, not enough bars for me, but the no skip thing is out the window for people that don't got bars, in my opinion.
Yeah, anytime you leading up to your album and your promo is telling people it's a classic, telling people it's your best work, telling people this has no skips, it almost absolutely is not your best work, is not a classic, and absolutely has skips.
Plenty of skips.
And this one is no different. It's not bad. Don't get it twisted. I'm not shitting on the album. It's pretty straight. But he came out the gate swinging with the last project. Like, it's just perfect timing. That's why he took 2 years off. He could. He had bangers on there like The Box and other joints that lasted, literally got him touring for 2 years straight. Nigga didn't have to step into a studio. Now he's back. I understand expectations are high. He's probably feeling the pressure. And so you have to make bold claims, put your chest out and talk your shit. I get it. But the album is, of course, obviously there are skips. It's 18 tracks, bro. Roddy Ricch, like you said, makes good vibe music. There's pretty good production on here, some nice transitions, some good features, some good records too. I like that 25 Million joint. That move to Miami with Lil Baby is tough. But let's be clear, man. Like, in order to have replay value and true no skippability, you have to be saying something. You just gotta be saying something, dude. Like, and if you're not, the replay value is gonna be thin. He hit lightning with the first one because he's not really saying nothing on there, but like he was just in this bag on that one. So he lightning struck once and ain't strike twice with this one though. Like, it's just cool. It's a cool project. Miss me with the no skip classic. Best I ever did shit though. Miss me with that.
I think the only way for people like him in this new generation that ain't really got the bars like that to hit you with that no skip thing is they gonna have to pull a YG or Kendrick and do that Good Kid, Mad City type. Add the what am I trying to say?
The storytelling.
The storytelling, but the skits. Yeah, I couldn't think of that shit. They got to add the skits and make it be a story, make it be where you're diving into a project with them where they're trying to relay a whole situation to you. But if you're just giving me 18 Roddy Ricch songs, like it's impossible.
And you from Compton with the storied history of Compton,
like there's a
you
story
can pull that
there.
off there.
Yeah, there's a story there. That's what made me even think of it. Like, but other like if I'm just expecting Roddy Ricch to give me 18 bangers, like, nah, I can't see that.
He might give you he can give you 18 tracks and have like a strong 6 joints that you can hear in a lounge or the radio or the club. Like he'll give you a strong, but like, bro, like
or
classic and all that. Fam, no.
He can pull at Vince Staples too. I'm in and out there in 22 minutes.
With 8-9 piece.
Yeah, 22 minutes. Yep. You heard it. You got it, and boom, we out here.
That's true.
Yep. Lastly, before we get out of here and get to our top 10 albums of the year, 2021, that is, for the On Deck TV show, your man's.
Are you a podcaster?
Your man's, one of your favorite rappers.
Relax.
I remember you pulled up on me when we were in college at MTSU with this CD listening to This Is the Way We Ball.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You were hyping this double CD. Lil Flip. You and Little Flip are the last 2 people on the planet that think he's still relevant. And in that relevance, Little Flip says for verses against T.I., he needs $1 million. Animal Brown. And he said he got more hits than T.I., which is probably the more egregious thing. Animal Brown, my question to you, is it fair or foul that Lil Flip wants $1 million to do a versus against T.I.?
Man, this is the wild. And listen, hold on. Let me preface it. Like you said, I fuck with Lil Flip back in the day when he dropped the double disc, when he dropped the This Is the Way We Ball. I was fucking with Houston through that gap.
That's your man.
I was fucking with him. T.I. slaughtered him, murdered him, jaw ruled him, whatever you want to call it, ended his career, grand opening, grand closing. Between I Want to Spoil You Like Milk and T.I. demolishing him, his career was over quickly. Let's be very clear. I'm also, again, I am not a biased, blind fan to recognize that it was a wrap for Little Flip very quickly. I am also not biased and blind to think that him getting $1 million is reasonable to do anything, much less a versus with anybody, much less T.I., dude. Like, stop the madness. This is ridiculous. The headline on Vlad was a genius headline because it was 2 of the most ridiculous statements I've heard probably since Lil Flip was relevant, which is I want $1 million to do a versus with T.I. and he doesn't have as many hits as y'all think. Those were 2 egregious ass statements, dude. Lil Flip clearly has CTE. It's unfortunate, but that's the only logical explanation I could think of why someone would think any of those 2 statements were remotely true. It is 1000% foul. Lil Flip is dead wrong, and I'm hot at him because I used to support him. He tripping.
That's your man. Another one of these bullshit Vlad headlines, man. Vlad ought to be shot for this shit, for letting this shit fly to his editing room. Now, with that being said, I don't think Little Flip getting $1 million for a versus is too far off. Like, I'm sure Bone got $1 million.
5 figures, bro.
They one act though. It's still one act. I don't care how y'all niggas split it up. I'm gonna give y'all $1 million. It don't matter to me. No matter that Little Flip is one person of his act. With that being said, Little Flip getting $1 million for a versus with all of the sponsors and as much money as Thriller puts into it, that's not far-fetched to me. I get that. I totally understand. He knows the music business. He knows how much money gets put into these type of production. He's seen how this thing has grown since it started. So asking for $1 million to do a versus, if like when the Brat was in the same range, 850, right? Somewhere in there.
No. They only wanted 150 for her.
Oh, she only wanted 100. That's nuts.
But that was a while ago. That was a couple deals ago.
Facts. And Lil Flip ain't dumb per se.
Right now,
he says some pretty knowledgeable things when it comes to the music business. He just got the tidal wave of T.I. handed to him in his prime. Now, with that being said, him asking for $1 million, I understand that. Not against T.I. though. Like, nobody's gonna give you $1 million to go out there and embarrass yourself. Like, nobody's gonna give you $1 million to relive what happened to you in your career when you tried to come up against the king. So him doing a Texas style, and him, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, and Paul Wall, and all got up there and they gave you a versus and did a tag team matchup, and it was a pool or something like that. they could make it cool. Like there is a Verzuz platform for Little Flip because he did have a couple of records. I think pairing it up with the rest of the Houston scene would be really fly. Yep. And they should get $1 million for that. Not a piece, but it would be a pretty nice song because that was a moment in hip hop. Let's not diminish what Flip did. You can have your million. But to go on into that headline, and you talking about people don't got as many hits and you got as many hits as T.I., bro, you're fucking nuts. That's where the CTE come in at. I'm going to go out on a limb here with a hot take, man. T.I. has a top 10 catalog in rap, period. Like
are you saying albums? Or are you saying
album, top to bottom? It ain't 10 rappers that can say I got a better catalog than T.I. It ain't 10. Now, it ain't 10. So I know he got enough hits to put, like, Flip might not score a point, bro. And that's what I think a fire episode that we need to put in the books and people need to remind of us. We need to do the top catalogs in the game. Compare catalogs. We ain't done catalogs. We've broke down people's catalogs and told how we like them, but ranking people's catalog, like who got the top catalog in hip hop?
It's Kanye.
No, it's not.
It's better than Jay. No, it's either Jay or Jay got 4 classics. So it's either Jay or Kanye.
I would say it's probably Jay.
Probably Jay.
But then if you go in project for project and add mixtapes too, how could it not be Wayne? Just based off the volume.
Because he has really bad projects though.
He does have really bad projects.
And Kanye and T.I., they don't really just have like trash. Like Wayne got some trash, bro.
That's true.
I Am Not a Human Being 1 and 2 are garbage, bro. The Rock and Roll album is garbage, dude. Like
Eminem got a solid catalog. Now I don't rank him high in my overall like top rappers, but if you go in catalog, like the projects top to bottom, he sneaks in there.
Who?
T.I., like you said, like that's a good conversation. Eminem.
Nah, he got like
his catalog. I ain't saying it's top 10, but he has a strong catalog. You don't think Eminem got a strong catalog?
He got 3 good ones and probably like 4 bad ones, though. That's the thing. He came out the gate.
We way more fun on Eminem than that. You say he got 4 bad albums, I believe you.
Yeah, he got 4 bad albums.
I totally believe you. But
that's a good idea. I like that though.
Best catalogs in hip hop. We're gonna have to revisit that.
I like that. Speaking of best in hip hop, though, man, we do have our top 10 albums of last year. We each have our respective list. And let's be honest, you see a lot of people's top 10s in different categories. You see it in music, you see it in sneakers. Shout out to Fresh to Your Average. We've got an episode coming soon as it relates to top 10 sneakers of the year. All this stuff is subjective. It really needs to just be called top 10 favorite albums of the year, dude. Favorite. Favorite, because that's basically what it comes down to. You'll see a couple of usual suspects on here, but usually sprinkled in, you'll get a couple of what? And it's just because it might have been my favorite or your favorite, and it got more tick than maybe some other ones that may have been, generally speaking, more popular. So
the politically incorrect version of what you're saying is you and I don't get paid for these lists like most of the mainstream people that you see doing this. True. So some of the shit or the same stuff that you see across these lists is because record labels provide a nice little budget for these to be mentioned at the end of the year amongst the top platforms.
Yeah, we
have an awesome platform that you and I have worked hard at over the past 7 years. So we kind of do this organically. And it's more
friends in the industry, nigga.
Facts. And this is more so, like you said, this is our favorite. This is what Animal Brown and what Spike Lee, if you were to pull up a profile on them for their 10 albums of the year, this is what caters to us.
With that being said, let's get straight to it. 10, 9, and 8, man. What you got?
10, 9, and 8, man. I know for a fact none of these made your list.
Nah, let me name some.
And I don't even know your list. I mean, you just ain't on my vibe. Speaking of vibes, number 10 was Bodie James, Bo Jackson. Number 9 was T Grizzly, Built for Whatever. And number 8, Young and Ace, Life of Betrayal, 2 times.
Okay.
Now, the Bodie James, I slid that in there. It wasn't my favorite project. I like the earlier stuff that I heard from him. I want to hear him get more versatile, but I did still like this project. I want to see him get away from what he's been doing so much of, though. That sound works for him, huh?
What, Alchemist?
Yeah, get away from the Alchemist just for a little
bit.
At least a song. Jesus, just give me a song or something to show me that you can do other stuff outside of Alchemist. With that being said, I did still like that as top 10 album of the year. As you see, This is the second time T Grizzly's quietly made my list. I revisited one of the other shows T Grizzly made, and I just like his style. As people will hear, a lot of Detroit is on my list, and I think he's more of the mainstream Detroit. He's more of a representative of a mainstream type style. So it's a hard flow to try to get to and like the Detroit flow I'm speaking of, but I think T Grizzly does it well. Did it well with this album. He's grown up some. I like the songs. He's in these last two albums, especially shown his maturity, shown the type of subject matter that he's on. I like where he had headspace wise. So that's why I had this album on there, just the level of maturity that he's shown and grown up with. Number 8, The Young and Ace. It's a true thing as far as buying into personalities as well. The only reason I even listened to this album was the YouTube videos that we mentioned on here, as far as the stuff that goes on in was it Tampa? It's Tampa, right?
I thought it was Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the rappers in Jacksonville, this whole thing with Who I Smoked that he had going on, sounds like he got an interesting personality. I'll put it that way. So let me hear and see what he's talking about. And the album ain't that bad. I was shocked. I was surprised that it made my list of top 10 albums of the year. I would definitely suggest it. If you look at those videos, you will be surprised at what you hear on these albums with the type of reflection that he shows on the lifestyle that he lives. And I thought that was dope from a kid like that. I hope that they put whatever situation they got behind him and he's able to continue to work on his craft because he got some talent. I like Young and Ace.
Yeah, shout out to Young and Ace. He had one of the few songs I liked on that Rick Ross album too. I fuck with that T Grizzly too though. Late Night Calls and Quit Trapping are two of my favorite joints on that project. I like T Grizzly too. You want to be from Detroit so bad though, it's ridiculous.
My guys, nigga, Ice Cam, nigga, wait till I get my Ice Cam going.
Hey man, if y'all didn't see the Ice Cam at the Pistons game, that was the most Detroit shit I've ever seen in my life. Go to Twitter, hashtag Ice Cam if y'all missed that. But no, I'm not mad at those 10. I'm not mad at those 3 on the list, except for the Young and Ace. I haven't heard it, so I'm just gonna hate on it.
Young and Ace, you listen to that? I can't believe you watched those videos and didn't want to listen to his music. That was the first thing I was like, I gotta hear this nigga album.
I watched his interview. I watched the interview he had, I think, on Adam 22 joint. I watched an interview, and he was a little more, like you said, you expect somebody that is of that background to be a certain type of maybe reckless on like interviews and shit, but he wasn't that. He was a little different than I expected. So yeah, you're right. I can see checking out this project. My 10, 9, and 8. My number 10 is a cheat code because it's 2 EPs that drop. So I'm just combining these 2 EPs. It's the Vince Staples self-titled project, and it's the Nas Magic project. These are 2 very short projects, so putting one of them on here would have been a cheat code. Actually wouldn't have been. Me putting both is an absolute cheat code. But I think both are very well done. I really like that Vince Staples project. I think he needs to stay in that lane of making 10 or less tracks on a project. I think it works best for him. People forget how good of an artist he is. And I think he's coming into his own when it comes to the music. I like these last 2 projects, whereas leading up to those, I didn't think the music matched his personality. But now I think it does. And that's a very dope project. If I had to go a favorite song on there, I would go to Shining. And then the Nas EP Magic, man, this nigga is on a roll with Hit Boy. And it's so funny. I see Hit Boy retweet a tweet. Somebody asked, where were you at with Nas when he named a couple of albums or whatever? He was like, nigga, I was in middle school, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? But that's the question everybody want to know is, damn, where has this nigga been his whole life? Because Nas needed this. He sounds rejuvenated. That EP is fire. And that Woo Is For The Children is stupid banging. So that's probably my highlight on that joint. Number 9, we talked about this last week, IDK. You See For Yourself. That's a fire project. We joked and said, was this Kanye's best work in the last 5 years? Because he is heavily Kanye influenced, but in a good way. He seems like somebody that probably looked up to him and is not necessarily imitating him. So I actually liked it. One of the joints on there to check out is Shoot My Shot. And then number 8, I have Bodie James too. That Bo Jackson is tough to me. I think he needs to stay in this Alchemist lane, my opinion. The one before this, that Price of Tea in China is better, let's be clear, but it's still strong though. I would have to go Turpentine on that project if I was going for like a banger to check out. So yeah, I've got Bodie on mine too. That shit fire.
I'm surprised at that. I can't believe you disrespected Vince Staples like that. I'll leave it at that.
It's only because it's an EP. That's why. That's it.
Spoiler alert.
What you got for 7 and 6?
7 and 6. 7, my guy. Like we said, these are our favorites, not necessarily technically best albums. We wasn't rating music, and it was more so what we liked. And Larry June fits that bag for me. That orange print was fucking banging. I like this laid back, slow vibe, Cali, weed smoking vibe that he gives off. Like that's just that type of music I feel like you can put on and you can have it playing in the background. You can have it going on the road trip. You can be right there playing the game. You can be getting some work done at your desk. Like it's just not abrasive, but it's good enough to pay attention to when you need to. Larry, I think Larry got that lane on lock. He's one of my favorite artists. He drops consistently. I don't never ever think he's doing too much. He's like doing just enough to keep you engaged with what he's doing. And that's the type of style that I like. I fuck with it heavy as far as the new generation. The orange print stuck out tough to me. Number 6 for me is Donda. I was trying my best first listen to leave it out and never double back to it. But this is a undeniable album as far as if you're a music fan. Now, this probably would have been number 1 for me if Kanye West could rap still. But being that he can't, I give a fuck less about him losing his family and, to be honest, his religion. I don't care about. I like when he was talking his shit and popping his shit on his first 4 albums. If I had that Kanye West on this type of music and production and these type of features and these type of ideas for tracks that he had for this Donda, man, this would have been a fucking amazing album. Like you, no skip claiming. Like it would have been that if he was in his bag with that type of rap. I don't know if Sci-Hi wasn't available to write for him. I don't know what was going on, but I'm just not interested in Kanye West rapping from a bar standpoint. Everything else though, the features, how we put this mug together, the rollout, all of that stuff was great. It was a dope album from every one of those standpoints. So I got Donda at 6.
I can respect
like
that.
the top 2 of the top verses of the year on there. Maybe 3 with the little baby verse if you add that.
I can't argue with that. Of course, we're gonna get the Donda on my list in a few. Shout out to Larry June. I'm a fan of his too. I like that orange print. That was an honorable mention for me. I thought the one he dropped in 2020 that adjusted the game was a little better though. But I'm a fan. And he took that Dom Kennedy lane and ran with it and is owning that now. And shout out to Dom Kennedy too. He dropped a project that was actually pretty good. That From the West Side with Love 3. That was pretty dope too.
I'm mad I haven't gotten to that yet.
It's pretty good.
I'm really in Larry June bag, and I just ain't got to visit to that Dom. It's banging.
Yeah, that's a good project. My number 7 and number 6. Number 7, I'm going Drake, Certified Lover Boy.
I can't believe that you got it this low. Shocker.
That's my man's. We all know that. I think the rollout was fumbled a little bit. It dropped at the same time as Donda. We all know how that fiasco went. And I think that was to a detriment to Drake. The songs on here, I think, are good. It's just more of the same. And to me, that can be a hindrance when you're going up against stuff that's a little bit more original. So if I have to compare it, and it's going to be compared to Donna because they dropped at the same time. If I had to compare it, it's like going to a restaurant that you like and getting, like if you got the same thing, like ate sushi, right? I get the same thing every time I go. I get the miso steak because it's fucking fire. Right. That's Certified Lover Boy. Now, let's say if we went and you was like, hey, nigga, they got something new on the menu, though. Like, you need to fuck with this. I was like, really? But I get the same thing. Nah, nigga, like, try this new shit. And I try the new shit and it's fucking fire. The new fucking fire is going to end up being just a little bit better than the old fucking fire that I always get because I'm used to it. The new shit is stuff that's above my list on this album. The CLB is the older stuff that's my go-to, but it's not anything necessarily new. That's why it's only at, air quote, only at 7 on my list, because that hurts the replay value just a little bit. But it was good, though. And I like that. If I had to pick a standout, obviously a couple of singles go, but a sleeper on there is the joint with Kid Cudi, in my opinion. That shit fire.
That was a good analogy. That was some good podcasting right there. The food
sure.
Analogy was a good analogy because I totally understand what you mean. That's why I didn't make my list. Because
that's just disrespect, though.
Well, you only put it on there because it's Drake. Drake don't even like this album.
No,
Yeah, you could tell he don't even fuck with this album.
you're not gonna do
So I
that.
definitely wasn't fucking with it. But with that being said, it didn't mean that it was bad. Like it's Drake. Like you got good Drake shit, but just like you said, it was exactly what I was expecting. Like if I went down, sit down, that was a wonderful analogy, because for
It was a
me,
safe pick.
yeah, for me not being as big of a Drake fan as you are, the same thing wasn't gonna put it on my list. Like not to say that I was hating on it or disrespecting it, but exactly like you said, if that's what I was expecting and didn't get anything new from the biggest star in the world, I'm kind of let down.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's why I understand why people would say it's more of the same. And depending on what side of the fence you fall on and where you have him on, your favorite artist list, that may be a bad or a good thing. Number 6, I have Wale with Forlorn 2, a very strong bounce back project. Not necessarily bounce back because that Wow That's Crazy was pretty dope too. It's the Shine that was some slaw. But Forlorn 2 is his 7th album and he still is at a high level making music. Who knows what his label situation is and what he's going through. But I found I had low expectations for this album because I wasn't really feeling the singles like that. I thought he went for the low hanging fruit with the J. Cole record with using the Q-Tip sample and then using the I Need a Girl sample with Chris Brown. I was like, man, it better not be a whole album of this shit. But it wasn't. But the cool thing is it had a throwback 90s vibe to it, like the Tiffany Nikes, the Fluctuate, the More Love joint with dude from Boys to Men. Like they all had that 90s vibe, and I really dug that vibe. And I thought it was strong. And it was again something just slightly different from his previous work that gave it a little bit more originality and more replay value. So shout out to that Forlorn too. Like I said, my favorite joint was More Love. That's what got the hoodie. The hoodie is hanging up in the closet right now because of number fucking 10 on that album, dude. Straight up. Put it in the cart, nigga.
The only nigga I'm checking for less than Freddie Gibbs is Wale.
The only nigga you hate on more than Freddie Gibbs is Wale.
So I have not heard.
The album was banging.
Possibly. Wale's not for me. I've accepted that though. Like Wale is definitely not anything that I'm looking for.
This is a good album. You need double back triple. Give me 5 and 4, man, before we get into our top 3s.
5 and 4. Number 5 for me, critically acclaimed. This is Grammy nominated, which were delayed. Shout out to the Grammys. Tyler, Call Me If You Get Lost. Album was undeniable. He took a hit in the 2021 rap from Uncle Murder talking about you hear Uncle Murder?
Oh yeah. That was funny.
That was hilarious. But
the Uncle Murder rapper was some mid though.
That was some mid. Yeah, it was a mid. He didn't really have a lot this year. I don't know if niggas got on him about last year, but he really just fucked with people that he knew wasn't gonna come for him. Yeah, that being said, he mentioned Tyler in there. Tyler had a great album, man. He brought it to the door with this album. It was creative. It was insightful. He was rapping his ass off on that, and I really liked it. It was fire for me. It's really not my lane, but it was undeniable as far as the music. And I had to fuck with it. I found myself doubling back to it a couple of times. So that definitely Tyler, Call Me If You Get Lost. Number 4 for me, another Detroit artist, one of my favorite new guys out here, 42 Doug, Freedom Boys, not the deluxe. The deluxe too goddamn long. It's too much for me. But the regular version, the regular Freedom Boys, that's the one for me. It ain't got as many songs. There's some bangers on that deluxe that they added just too much, though. That shit like a compilation. The regular version of the Freedom Boys, 42 Doug got the best flow in the game as far as youngsters to me. He talking the talk that I want to hear. He from the ilk. It ain't fake. It don't come off as fake. So I like it. I like how he represents his city of Detroit. I like just him being the young fly nigga popping his shit. He a little bitty nigga, so it sounds funny coming off on the track. It's just like everything I think lines up and hits. His voice is perfect as far as this new generation, from my opinion. And I think all the ducks line up for him to continue doing what he's doing and continue to be a bigger star. This Freedom Boys was it for me.
Yeah, it had some shit on there. He had the joint with Future that rang off all year long. And I like 42 Doug too.
Yeah, Doug, my guy, man. I fuck with Doug.
I like him. There's no way in hell he would be on this top 10 list, but I like him though.
Fact, he should have been top 3 for me. It took a lot for me to have him at 4, but it's a strong 3. His dad used to hang around Nashville. Did you go 4 and 3 we're doing and we saving
Nah,
the last two?
just 5 and 4.
Oh, okay, got it. So 5 and 4, Tyler, call me if you get lost. 4, 42, Doug, Freedom Boys. What do you got at 5 and 4?
At 5, I've got Conway, La Maquina.
Mm.
Listen,
I was off Griselda this year, man.
shit, nigga, that
Conway
Conway is stupid. Now you're right though. I get it. They've had strong years for these last handful. New York needed Griselda in the worst way. Fact. I'm talking about in the worst way possible. Nigga, Tekashi was running around calling himself the king of New York. It was looking ugly. All that shit went to hell like we knew it would. And Griselda came and took the torch, and they have been like delivering ever since. This is no exception. I didn't think he could top the project from, I believe it was either last year or a year before, that From a King to a God. I didn't think he could top that. This is right on par with that shit, dude.
Is it?
Man, Conway, I slept on Conway's ability to make music. I thought that Benny was the number one person, and they're neck and neck. Let me put it this way. Conway's ability to make music, he has proven himself to be able to do that with this one, the one before that, and even the Alchemist joint with the Jaws on the cover. I forgot the name of it. Lulu. Even with that one, that was a strong project too. So Conway has moved up on my list, and like this project is fire. I highly recommend running it back. The SE Gang is probably my favorite joint on there, but it's so much heat on there, like it's ridiculous. Number 4, I also have Tyler, Call Me If You Get Lost. I love the DJ Drama drops on there. It gave you that nostalgic feel. I called the DJ Drama return 2 years too early. I'll be ahead of my time. Sometimes that happens. But I think it worked
one
really.
Album.
Nah, because he did the JI. I mean, he did I think he did the JID too.
That nobody heard that. But you and M Extra. You the only 2 niggas on the planet.
He'll do another one this year. Who knows who it'll be, but it worked for this Tyler, the Creator, because they're from 2 different generations. And so bridging that gap was cool. The production was strong. The transitions were good. This is the second album in a row that I fuck with Tyler. Previously, I didn't listen to his shit at all. I couldn't get into it, but he found that lane with this production though, because this shit sounds masterful. Like it was at a point where the one before this, the Flower Boy joint, I liked it, but I wished somebody like Andre 3000 just had them beats instead of Tyler, the Creator, because I'm not the biggest fan of his rap. But on this one, it came together a little bit better, in my opinion. To his bars was matching the production. So that was a strong project from Tyler. You know, I know a lot of people was crowning that album of the year when it dropped, and then a couple of other projects happened, but it definitely is on my list, man. Top 4 for sure.
It was a great idea to double down, like you said, after that last album, to stay in that lane and in that bag and kind of hone it in a little bit more. I agree with you. That last album was good. This one like perfected it.
Yeah, he took a step up. I can respect it, man. Top 3, man. What you gonna do?
Top 3. Surprise. Another Detroit artist is on mine in the top 3. That's make what Bodie James, T Grizzly, 42 Doug, and Payroll Giovanni.
Ain't no way.
40% of my list is from Detroit.
No way, boy. Ain't no way.
And Payroll Giovanni's way is banging. That's what I want to hear. Rappers with dope ass velo laid back beats talking that talk, telling me about their life that's realistic, that I know about, that I can relate a little bit to. I love it. This album did it for me. Payroll was in his bag. I think Drug Stories may be my favorite song on there. I'm a big fan of Payroll music. I can't listen to him all the time. I know niggas that only listen to Payroll. I can't do that. But when he is in his bag like this on that Giovanni's way, that's for me. Like he made that album for me and niggas like me, and I will ride to it every time that I mash out. I want to hear that Giovanni's way. Number 2 for me, obviously, this you haven't heard it yet from either one of us. I'll be the first one to say it. J. Cole, Offseason, 100%. He came to the door this year. I've been listening to that My Life on repeat lately. For some reason, that caught up with me late, but 21 Savage, Moray bodied that. And more regular honorable mention for me as far as albums too. That was pretty good. His album. But that J. Cole offseason, I really like that. I think J. Cole continues to solidify himself as when we look back at it, like I've said on this show, when we look back at this era and we talk about the same way the Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas joint, we're going to see that J. Cole was the best doing it. It wasn't Drake and it wasn't Kendrick Lamar, even though Kendrick's my favorite. J. Cole has been more consistent. He's had his foot on niggas' neck for a longer period of time, like other than what Drake does, because that's different. But rap wise, putting them bars together is J. Cole. So that's the number 2 for off season for me. And number 1, the reason that I said you were disrespectful putting this guy at 10, because it was easily the best album of the year, EP or not. That's my guy, Vince Staples. That Vince Staples is banging all 22 minutes and 24 seconds of it, 1 through whatever the last track is. Every word of it is banging. For me, again, my stuff and my favorites, it's about lifestyle. I feel like he did a wonderful job of taking you. I felt like I was going on a quick little road trip with him through his hood. Like, this shit was fire. It didn't take a skit to understand it. He didn't have to stop. The skit was at the end with his mom. I thought that was dope. But it was more so like just like a summer day with him in his hood hanging with his homeboys and songs about it. That shit was fire. And it didn't take long to get to point. I liked it. It didn't seem like he was doing anything out of his element, really. It was like, I'm going to be my authentic self and give you guys this album. And I always like when it hits like that, and it kind of gives you a feeling of their surrounding and builds a world around it, similar to the Good Kid, Mad City, without the skits, is what I got from this. I like this album that much. That Vince Staples was banging to me.
That's your man's. That's your man's. You're gonna hear,
and like again, just to wrap it up, like you said, and like I said with that Young and Ace, for me, it's a lot about personality and buying into people. A lot of my albums on this list, like you just said with Vince Staples, is more so I like their personality, and then when I put that album on, it hits better. It hits more, and I like it more. And even with Kanye West and Donda, like without that Drink Champs interview, I don't think I would have him on my list. But I did need to see that as a consumer. And this is just me. I know everyone's not like this, but I did need to see that as a consumer. The new, more, he ain't where I want him to be 100%, but I can tell that he's thought about some of the shit that he said, and he's kind of grown some. I like that. So that made me listen to that album differently. Like, those things matter to me when I'm making lists and putting albums together. So I hope my list was reflective of that for people that listen.
I can definitely respect that. I like that Payroll too. That's my guy. I'm glad he stopped doing those Cardo beats though, because that shit wasn't working.
He was saving Cardo.
Nah, that shit wasn't working. He back to his roots on that last one though. I fuck with that Payroll for sure. If I gotta go top 3, man, number 3, I'm going Nas, King's Disease 2. I feel like the tricky part when we do these album reviews that we do is that albums come out on Friday and then we review them on Tuesday, and you don't really have enough. Not all the time. You don't have enough time to let it soak and let it grow on you. Sometimes some projects need to do that, where you can recognize, pick up on certain things after you've let it go in your rotation for a while. And King's Disease 2 is one of those. I liked it when it came out. Now I love it. It's Nas and Hit Boy are in their bag, like I alluded to earlier. But Nas really is talking that talk that me as a grown-ass man is trying to hear. When he's talking about the big dog plays that he's making in tech, and he's coming from here, and now look where we're at, and niggas, y'all can do it too. And like he's in a grown man space, not trying to be young. He's not trying to do anything out of his element. He's just a regular, I'm too cool for school Nas. You don't really see him out like that, which is perfectly fine. His music reflects that. He's not in here making club records, dude. This day and age, this internet day and age is perfect for Nas, because he never was the one to be like, yo, give me a radio single. Dude, like, man, fuck, man. Like, I don't, he never really wanted to have to do that. And now in 2021, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to have 300,000 first week, dude, to be a successful artist. Like, this shit is critically acclaimed. You fuck around and get another Grammy. Like, this is the perfect time for him, and I'm glad that he linked up with Hit Boy. However that happened, I am thankful. I listened to it today. No, I listened to it about a week ago, with some really good ass headphones on, and the production is fucking superb, dude. Like, you really hear the small nuances with what Hit Boy is doing, and he is on a fucking roll. So them two, they could have been Dre and Snoop, dude, minus the commercial.
Oh, stop it.
They could have been fucking Dre. You would have named them as a pairing if they had a longer run to do this. And who knows how long this goes, but they cooking, dude. I got to get to them.
Y'all niggas is gassing.
Nah, that shit
y'all niggas
fire.
Is gassing this Nas and Hit Boy, dude.
That
Jesus.
These niggas make good music, man. And then number 2 is J. Cole, Off Season. One of my go-to songs in that Nas was Store Run too. That shit go crazy. J. Cole, Off Season. Hip hop is all about moments, dude. J. Cole had a moment with this project. He had a moment with the rollout. Even though it was a failed experiment hooping session in Africa, it was still kind of interesting to see. I tuned in on ESPN 7 to watch him hoop.
Or whatever you found that feed.
Whatever ESPN channel that shit was on, I tuned in and watched because it was interesting. He had a super dope rollout and gave us a great product. J. Cole is somebody who obviously is going to go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. He's on this generation's Mount Rushmore already. And I know he's talked about winding it down, and this may be like one of like a little trilogy where he ends it, he hangs it up. That's perfectly fine. This is the way you want to go out if you do, man. Off Season is incredible. Pride is the Devil, one of my favorite joints on there. Really, really open bars, bro. Like, dude, he keeps it a stack, man. Like J. Cole, a regular nigga, bro. Like, and if you can't relate to just a regular nigga, then I don't know, man. Go listen to your Super Gangster Too Cool shit, bro. Like, but J. Cole's a relatable ass nigga, bro.
It's like what Snoop said, that you're gonna get the furthest by being your authentic self.
Exactly.
That's J. Cole, 100%. Like that's when we probably will see J. Cole around as long as Snoop has been around. Once J. Cole, I think right now the reason being he's competitive.
Yep.
With the rest of the people. So I want to still be in competitive mode. But recently he did have those statements to where he said he's starting to look at Drake and Kendrick as peers versus competitors, because I feel like those are the only other two niggas in the world that know what I go through. Yep. To be one of three niggas in the world to understand the situation is fucking nuts.
Yes.
And I think as they get older, they'll start to gravitate toward each other, and we'll start to see J. Cole going to that Snoop type role.
I am mad at that. And then, of course, number one, 27-track album, no skips. How could this not be number one? Donda's the best album of the year. A major bounce back album from there, Jesus is King. When Kanye announced that he was going the gospel route, we all rolled our eyes. I didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to hear it. I don't know anybody that asked for that. We didn't want to hear that. And then Jesus is King confirmed our suspicions, because that wasn't really it. That wasn't it at all. So when he doubled back and said that Donda is coming and it was supposed to be kind of in the same vein, I was like, man, god damn, dude. Like, that ain't what I need to hear. Give me what I need to hear, dude. And that's not it. And he dropped this Donda project, and and we talk about moments and events. One of the biggest events of the year was the listening parties that he had for the album. I went to the first one, didn't make it to the second one. And just hearing it live with 20,000 people, and for the first time, that was a super dope experience, number one. But number two, you got to hear the music, even though it wasn't the best sounding because the roof was open at Mercedes-Benz. And so like it wasn't the best, clearest hearing, but you still felt that it was something special though. That's the only really way I can describe what it felt like there. You felt it was something special. And you knew once you got your hands on the project, then you would be able to decipher specifically what it was about it. And I just think the album is special, dude. Like it's what I compared to Certified Lover Boy. This is the new meal. This is the new plate at the dope restaurant that you just put me on. That you're like, nah, you gotta try the new shit. Bro, I get my go-to. Bro, stop. Leave the go-to alone for a second and try the new shit that they just put on the menu. This shit is fire. This is what that is. I think, you know what? And I think him staying at Mercedes-Benz in that fucking 8x12 room that he was in, I think that did him some good. So to stay in that environment and what seemed to be like all chaos, and when does it come out? The niggas flying in, and to put this cohesive body of work that came from that is incredible. And I think a nigga like Rick Ross could do some good, nigga, staying at fucking State Farm Arena, dude. Because you listen to what he just put out, you can tell he's staying in a mansion with 800 acres in the back. You can tell. This Kanye shit sound like he back hungry, nigga. Back on the south side or wherever the fuck he grew up at, nigga, making 30 beats a day for 3 summers, bro. That's what this sounded like. And the fact that it was that cohesive with all the chaos surrounding it surprised me, and I think it just worked straight through. He brought the best out of people, bro. Like, yo, don't cuss, don't talk no gangster shit, only talk real shit. Okay, cool. That's what you got from a lot of these artists, career-defining verses from Baby, from Fabio. Like, it's just, the project is fire, bro. Like, I'm sorry, it just is. I know that's my man. Project. Everybody know I fuck with Kanye heavy, but he delivered. I didn't have Jesus is King on my top 10. You know what I'm saying? But this
surprisingly,
surprising.
no, he did though. He did deliver, and for all those reasons, that's why I had it on my list because I wouldn't 100% love to have left it off.
It's hating.
But again,
This is one of them albums you have to listen to more than
yeah,
you have to let it marinate to get it though, man. You have
that was one of the things too. Like that, like I said, if it wasn't for that interview that made me, it came out around the same time, right?
Yeah, the interview was after, so a lot of people double back.
So I doubled back after the interview, and then I was like, oh, okay. And another thing was I kept hearing that Fabio song.
Yeah.
And where you would hear it, like I think I may have been at a game, or they may play at the Cowboys game, but when you hear it, it'll make you want to hear the rest of that.
Yeah,
I was like finding myself like I gotta go hear that because that nigga was going in.
Yeah.
And then you listen to that, then you listen to the Andre song, and you find yourself just listening to verses, and then you just want to run it through because the transitions and how you put it together was so dope. So yeah, Donda was a good album, man. He was back in his bag on that 100. You can't deny it. Like you can't be a hater. Like you can not like Kanye West as much as you want, but dude, the way dude makes music is different. That's different.
He needed that too, though.
Facts.
Because the presidential run, the Jesus King, like bro, like he was like,
He needs to send Nori a check too.
Relax. But I will say, I think that Life of the Party, the Andre joint, made people revisit it too, though. When that leaked, 100%. That made people double back. Like, I think it worked. If I had to pick a joint on there, I would say Come to Life. The pianos at the end are ridiculous. Well, fuck it. I'd say the whole album. Fuck it.
Mine would be that joint with Fabio. That nigga was ripping that. Jeez.
Man, they played that at the Braves game. Somebody came out to it. That shit sounded so good at the Braves game.
I bet, nigga.
That shit sounded good as fuck, dude.
One of the closers came out. They do the light show at the Braves, cut the lights out and shit.
Hey man, that's our top 10 albums. I'm gonna run through mine real quick, man. Number 10, I had a tie. Yes, I cheated. 2 EPs, Vince Staple and Nas Magic. 9, IDK, you see for yourself. 8, Bodie James, Bo Jackson. Shout out to Detroit, go Pistons. 7, Drake, CLB. 6, Wale, Forlorn 2, Hoodie in the Closet. Number 5, Conway, La Machina. Please revisit that. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, you're right, I was tripping. Number 4, Tyler, Call Me If You Get Lost. 3, Nas, King Disease 2. Yes, 2 Nas projects on top 10. Nice. 2, J. Cole, Off Season. And number 1, Kanye West, Donda. Only thing I hated about that Donda was the album cover. You make a song dedicated to your mom, you can murder the album cover like a fire throwback picture of you and her as a kid or something. Like you could body that shit.
What was this? The all black thing, right?
It's all black.
Yeah, that's some Kanye shit. My 10, Bodie James, Bo Jackson. T Grizzly, Built for Whatever at number 9. Number 8, Young and Ace, Life of Betrayal 2 times. Number 7, Larry June, The Orange Print. Number 6, Kanye West, Donda. Number 5, Tyler, Call Me If You Get Lost. Number 4, 42 Doug, Freedom Boys, the regular version. Number 3, Payroll, Giovanni's Way. Number 2, J. Cole, The Off Season. And my favorite album of the year, Vince Staples.
Ain't no way. Hey man, let us know what y'all top 10 albums are. Make sure you go to YouTube and comment and subscribe too, man. Hit the link. If you're listening to this on social media, on iTunes, there's a link in the description. Hit that link for YouTube and hit that subscribe button for your people.
Absolutely.
And let us know what you think about your top 10s.
Put your top 10 in the list too. Put your top 10 in the YouTube comments. Go to the Facebook. Drop your top 10s. Put your top 10 albums. Stack them up in the metaverse. Drop them off at the door. However you want to do your top 10. Let us know what you think.
Absolutely, man. We have some wins and some losses before we get out of here. W2 Lil Durk. He proposed on stage to his girlfriend in what's her name? Fuck.
I thought it was India.
Yeah, India something.
Yeah, that's I thought. That's pretty cool. To them,
though. That was dope.
Yeah, congratulations to him. I didn't know Durk had 8 kids.
I didn't know that either.
Jeez.
India Royal. That's her name.
What's her name?
India Royal.
Yeah.
8 kids is he can't have 8 kids, bro.
You didn't see the picture with him, her, and all the kids?
Hold on, let me see.
Man, he got like 7 kids.
Damn. He has 6. That's crazy, bro. I did not know that. Damn. All right.
That's a lot. Congratulations to them, man.
Yeah, man. Triple salute, man. Damn.
Congratulations to them. Yes.
Another W, man. December 18th is now DMX Day in New York. Very cool. Salute to DMX. Make sure y'all check out that documentary on HBO if y'all haven't. But pretty dope, man. December 18th, DMX Day.
I'm here for that. I'm definitely here for that. DMX was a legend, man. And we definitely, people like that in our culture, we got to make sure we keep their names out there and keep them going. So I'm here for DMX. That should be nationwide 12/18.
Absolutely, man. Lastly, we got a W to Megan Thee Stallion. She is the first rapper to sign a Netflix producing deal. She is producing a new series and about a handful of other projects exclusively for Netflix. Big W, big checks, man, for the H-Town hottie.
Hopefully this does well, so other rappers can get deals and we see more creativity from there. I ain't really seen Meg and her creativity bag though. What do you?
She's always talked about making movies. She wants to do a horror movie. She wants to write a horror movie.
Interesting.
So who knows?
Never watched that. Since I'm not a horror fan, but much
ain't nobody not a horror fan no more.
Me, I'm not a horror movie fan. I'm going to see that Scream though. Tough.
That's a horror movie, nigga.
It's more so suspense. I'm here for the suspense. Definitely not doing the Michael Myers and Jason though.
That's horseshit. And man, on decker of the week. Salute to everybody. It's the new year. We're giving the on decker of the week, man, to everybody checking us out. Everybody that subscribes to YouTube right now, you are on decker of the week.
Facts.
Before we get out of here, man, what's your first put on for 2022?
Man, there may be a revelation on this podcast, a new day coming. I started the Wu-Tang series on Netflix. And
that's on Hulu.
On Hulu.
Yeah.
And I am fucking with it.
Yeah.
I definitely am. I get it a little bit more now. I may not fuck with the music. It's heavy. I'm definitely going to revisit. I'm on episode like 6 or 7 now. But it's
Season
definitely
1?
Yeah. They getting into RZA signing his deal and having that bullshit song about the ladies and stuff. But I like this better than BMF, if I'm being honest with you. Similar story. Just Terry and Meechwa went on to be bigger drug dealers and they went on to be rappers. But I like it, man. I ain't know the backstory about Raekwon and Ghostface. I ain't know a lot of that stuff, man. And I'm appreciating it. It made that they're not just like a regular New York group to me now. Like the depth in the story that shows how they were different from the other rappers that were coming up in New York. I understand the phenomenon around them more, because they were from Staten Island, because they were like not one of the main boroughs. It's a lot that went into it, and I get it a lot more now. So mine is that Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I heard season 2 real good.
I heard that's what made me start watching the season 2, start cooking. Davies doing an alright job too. I ain't know none of that about nigga. Method Man play lacrosse, bro. Did you know that?
I ain't know that.
Like that's nuts to me.
I can't even
never. That. This nigga Method Man was like on a state championship lacrosse team, dude. Like that's what? Nuts. Who the fuck knew that?
Nigga, they might have made that up for TV.
I swear to God, I was wondering. I was like, dude, it can't be. This nigga didn't play lacrosse. But then that's too big of a thing to just throw in there, though. That's like true. You don't just throw that in there like, are we gonna make this nigga play lacrosse? Like, what? I was so confused watching. I was like, man, who is this playing lacrosse, dude?
I checked it out when it first came out. I watched like maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I liked it. I don't know what happened, but I fell off. I need to double back and
double back. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And especially for people like you and me who we really ain't up on Wu-Tang, and I don't really just fuck with the project. Some of the details and some of the stuff that go into, you're like, oh, okay, it makes a lot more sense now, and you start to like be more open to the music. I'll say
their documentary did that for me though. The HBO,
this doubles down on that. This doubles down on. This gives
the documentary was fire.
Facts.
Brother,
I really like the brother too. On the documentary, that wouldn't really put in a good light. He's really I like his character.
Man, but my put on for the week is also some TV shit, man. Paramount Plus, Mayor of Kingstown. I'm fucking with that. I'm on episode 5, 6. Pretty dope, pretty interesting concept. I hit y'all up in the group chat and was like, hey, is it people out here like this in real life? He was like, yep, sure is. I was like, all right. Who knew? But Jeremy Renner, he doing this thing on there. It's pretty dope, man. It's basically the fix. It's basically the dude on the outside who's got the plug on the inside of jail, and he's kind of the middleman between what goes on in jail and what happens on the outside. And he's kind of there to keep the peace as best way possible. And it's pretty dope. It's pretty interesting, man. Like I really fuck with it.
It's a really good concept.
Yeah. Super dope.
The same dude that did Yellowstone did that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, I'm gonna check out Yellowstone.
He doing too much though. Like Yellowstone is falling off because of this show. Like he did the same. Like he got the same actors in both the shows.
Ah, that's some slaw.
Yeah, one of the storylines I feel like was a lot similar. Like when it was just a lot. And he got one more show that he doing. Like, and he writes all of them. Taylor Sheridan is his name.
Ain't no way.
He do 1883. It's a pre-Yellowstone prequel. It's on TV right now. This is on TV right now, and Yellowstone just went off. He doing too much.
Yeah, man, he got start. He getting his Tyler Perry on.
Yeah, 100%, and he plays in Yellowstone.
See what I'm saying? Guys, we appreciate y'all tapping in, man. A brand new year, big shit popping as we always do. Looking to level up. Also, everybody listening, looking to level up, man. Make sure y'all, whatever y'all got cracking, man, double down on that shit. It's a new year, man. Fresh start. YouTube.com again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. Get these subscribers up. We're gonna have some new faces coming very soon on the pod that we're gonna be shooting the shit with, man. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Hoping you guys learn a bunch of shit too. Looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Like you said, big stuff this year. Much success to everybody that listens this year. And remember, people get caught up in to piggyback off what you were saying and striving for your goals. People get caught up in being successful and thinking that that's the goal. The goal is just to keep doing, because everything that you do not gonna work. But if you continue to do, you're gonna find something that works for you, and you're gonna hone your skills as you fail, as you continue to do stuff. So just keep doing. As we continue to keep doing, we'll meet y'all at the top.
Absolutely, man. Hey, till next time, man. We out.
Facts.